On-screen animated type and employment-themed graphics, characters, photos, and video clips describing wage and hour rights and responsibilities in Minnesota.
There are federal and state laws in place that apply to home care providers, including home health care workers and personal care attendants, also known as PCAs. These labor laws regulate overtime, hours worked, sleep time, and when workers receive final paychecks. Working as a home healthcare worker or PCA can be demanding, but allows people who need help with day-to-day activities to be more independent. Here are some important labor issues every home healthcare and PCA employer should know. Employers are required to follow federal and state overtime requirements. Under federal law, most direct care workers are entitled to receive overtime pay protections after working more than 40 hours in a week. If only state law applies, after a worker works more than 48 hours in a work week, both state and federal overtime laws require employers to pay workers an overtime rate of 1.5 times the regular rate of pay. Understanding what duties are counted as hours worked is another important consideration. Home healthcare workers and PCAs must be paid at least minimum wage for on-the-job training, shift prep work or closing duties, and some situations that involve travel time between clients, and any other hours spent performing duties for work. Rest periods of less than 20 minutes are also required to be paid time. Additionally, it's important to note that all hours worked must be paid, regardless of whether they are covered by insurance or government program reimbursements. While denying pay for hours worked is not allowed, employers may take other forms of corrective action if employees work unauthorized hours. Home healthcare workers and PCAs who live on-site with their clients for an extended period are not considered to be working the entire time. When the employee is free from duties and can enjoy personal time, other than short rest breaks, those hours are not required to be paid under state law. For home healthcare workers or PCAs who stay on site at their client's home for extended periods of time, there are some additional laws regarding sleep time. If you anticipate your employees will be staying on site for an extended period of time and may sleep for part of their shift, we encourage you to review Minnesota statutes and rules, as well as federal sleep time pay requirements and exceptions. Lastly, regular payment and final pay laws do apply to home healthcare workers or PCAs. Minnesota law requires employees to be paid all wages, salary, and earnings at least once every 31 days. Because of unique industry factors involving billing, reimbursements, and workers submitting their hours, labor standards does see violations of the 31-day pay requirement more often in this industry than others. When a home healthcare worker or PCA is discharged, terminated, or fired, all wages are due within 24 hours of an employee's written demand. In other instances where workers voluntarily quit, all wages are generally due on the next regularly scheduled payday. Employees who are unable to collect final wages from their employer under these requirements can file a wage claim with the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry. It's worth noting that workers who are members of the Service Employee International Union, or SEIU Healthcare Minnesota, may be part of a collective bargaining agreement. This means, as part of the union, different wage and hour laws may apply to those workers, as well as terms and conditions of employment. For more information about wage and hour laws related to home healthcare workers and PCAs, visit our website.
Logo, Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry. Web address, dli.mn.gov. Phone, 651-284-5075. Email, dli.laborstandards@state.mn.us.